So I'm out of town. My daughter calls me. Just all she wants to do is turn on the water that's on the slide, and no connection with the device. Then when I tell her to put it back so that it works again, nothing works. I'm out of town. Nothing's working. The pump won't go. Nothing's working. So I'm gone for 4 days. And this is what I come back to. Very nasty, green, yucky pool. And we'll have to add a little bit of water to it. The level's a little bit low. But got some cleaning to do here. This is actually quite an experiment to see if I can bring it to clean water with a new installation of the saltwater generator. They tell you to start with a clean pool. That's always a good idea if you can start with a clean pool. But it would have taken me too long to get this pool back up. I just want to install the salt generator and go. I hope I'm not making a terrible mistake. I've made mistakes before. All right, the new pump and chlorine generator have both been installed, and the water is clearing up beautifully. I think one more day we'll see clear water here. This is the new setup, the new pump and chlorine generator. The lens on the trash basket here is tinted. You can't really see anything in it. You can see the chlorine being generated here in the chlorine generator itself. The control unit here, open that up. You can see it's generating. That's no error messages are showing. And we'll rock through the menu selections here. Salinity at 42. And maximum, we'll get to it here in a minute. That's showing powers at maximum, so I'm generating as much as I can, basically using this to shock the pool as much as I can. And the pump again is controlled here. Instead of by phone, you just push buttons. I've got 4 programmed for schedules there, different RPMs each one. One specifically for the slide, so when we want to use a slide, it's easy to do. So where I am right now, I've got the water, of course, has been drained. You can see the pipes are open, so that's semi-obvious. I've disconnected power here, which means it's off at the breaker. That's a good idea. And so now I'm just going to swap these guys out. This has been unscrewed here. I'll unscrew it here in a minute and pull that bad boy out, take it to the street and tell it goodbye. Another note, the reason I'm just going to throw it away is the bearings on this thing have started chattering at less than 16. It's about 4 years old, so but I can't sell it knowing that it's making chatter noises from the bearings, so it just needs to go to the trash can. So I do not recommend Jandy because they don't recommend Jandy. All right, so we'll drain the filter over here. Shame on me for not doing that already. Yes, I'll clean the canisters while I have it drained. Hate to see all that good water go out. All right, well, I am replacing my Jandy variable E pump. I'm replacing it with this CircuPool Smart Flow, also a variable speed pump. This one has a built-in controller on the machine. Don't know much about it yet. It's 3 horse. This one's 2.7. This one's a little bit smaller. I have to say I'm a little bit disappointed with my new pump in that this is the filter from the old pump. This is the filter from the new pump, and it's just completely dwarfs the size. Now look at the size of that hole versus the size of that hole. I don't know. I've spent the money. We'll see how she does. I guess the motor's the same size. I don't know. I was not impressed when I saw this one. I thought a 3 horse would be a little bit larger in the actual pump area. 3 horse, of course, it refers to the motor. And variable speed motors are smaller than those that are not variable speed. So this Jandy comes with a controller that connects to the internet, and then you communicate with it with your cell phone. We've had a few problems with that because sometimes, unfortunately, our internet provider, something fails, and when the internet is gone, you no longer really have access to your pump. The good news is it's going to operate on whatever schedule you had it set to last. It doesn't just stop working, but you can't change anything if you need to. Okay, and then I bought this Jandy pump in like 2016 from an online distributor. I installed it myself. And then Jandy decided last year, or maybe the year before, I don't know, that they will completely crap on all of their customers that come in the do-it-yourself variety, like me. And now they only sell to pool trades. You have to be a professional pool service installer, whatever, to purchase anything Jandy. So when I go to them and tell them that I'm having trouble with this device, which has failed, it's not working anymore, they said, oh, no problem, just call your local Jandy person and they'll come out and fix it for you. $350 to show up, right? And you haven't even done anything. It's $350 just to show up. So I said, you've really done this. You really crapped on me. You're not gonna work with me at all. No. Okay, good. I'm gonna throw it in the trash. So that's where this is going. It's going into the trash can along with that. And speaking to the people at Salt Discount Pools, I think that's what it is, .com, saltdiscountpools.com. I'll double check that. They convinced me to go ahead and also go with a salt generator. So I'm going to be installing this pump and a salt generator there, getting rid of this chlorine tablet feeder, which has been a good feeder. It's, as far as chlorine tablet feeders go. So it gets to, maybe I'll sell it on eBay. We'll see what happens. All right, so I was going to take this off right here, and it is tighter than I can. And this one too. Hand tighten only, it says on there. It's probably self-inflicted wound there. I have this little device provided by Snap-on Tools. It's any size oil filter wrench or fuel canister or whatever, and you just wrap it around whatever you're going to take off and crank on it, and we'll see how it works here. So we'll start with this one here. There we go. So one down, one to go. And two down, 0 to go. All right then, with this all loosened up, come on baby, let's go. Not you. There we go. And this is loose. Gotta pull the wires out of here. Almost home free. Okay. Yeehaw. Alright, wires are disconnected except for this thing, which takes a smaller screwdriver. Alright, I'm back with a jeweler's screwdriver. These screws are on a dip switch, so a little bit smaller. I don't typically carry this size screwdriver in my big toolbox, but I think maybe I'll put this in there, at least one of them. Okay, those are out. This goes to the control module, which is also trashed now. Boy, if I'd only known Jandy was going to dump me, I sure wouldn't have bought this to begin with. I do not like being pooped on. Slide it on this one. There we go, now we're out. Okay, now we get to see how much modifications I've got to take care of here. This thing weighs almost nothing. Okay. So, do I raise the pump or lower the pipe? We're going to lower the pipe. Duh. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Too much to expect that to fit. Oh, don't do that. There we go. Talk to me. A little bit of Vaseline on this going back together for sure. Okay, shorter and taller. I love it. Assessing the situation here. This piece, this end used to be in the old pump. This piece goes here. The problem is, of course, that I need to Alright, that's not going to be as bad as I thought. Okay, so there's not any room here to cut and have the ability to put another piece on there. And this coupling here, I'm not able to use. It would be nice if I could go purchase another female coupling here, but this coupling has fine threads. All the other couplings have coarse threads, and I have been all over Supply, Home Depot, Lowe's, Locks, Plumbing Supply. They're all telling me that whoever made this 20 years ago, it's not made anymore. So, and I can't. There's no room here to replace the coupling here. Hey, Pooch. So the decision is I'm going to leave the coupling here, and I'm going to do a recovery cut on this. Okay, so this is a Clean Ream Extreme, and it allows me to cut this off out far enough that I'll have room to put a coupling inside. So I'm going to cut it off right at the lip here. Let me see if this is going to work. Oh, what a mess. Hey, little dog. Okay. Yep, it fits. Okay. So I'm going to recover the inside of this. I'm going to mill the inside of this so that I can put a piece of 2-inch pipe in it, and then put a coupling on the outside of that. And then that will go inside here and will be set. So that's what happens next. Alright, so if this does not go well, I can always cut the male half of the union off of the plumbing coming out the other side. So I'm hoping this goes well. This is where I would rather deal with it right here. Okay, here we go. So that's off, and this fits right in here. And let's see how it cuts. This will be the first time I've used this as a device. So it's got two stages. This stage fits the inside of the pipe, the inside diameter. And then this stage out here has the cutter on it, and it brings it out to the 3-inch diameter. Takes a little bit of holding on to. So what I don't want to do is come too far back, because once I come out of this, there's nothing. So I've got to go a little bit further up. Right now I'm right here. Go a little bit deeper. So the cut has been made. It's a 2-inch piece of PVC. It fits in relative tight. I'll bring this up so you can see the cut on the inside. Let's get this shadow out. Not real pretty in there, but I'm going to put some glue on it and it should do okay. Alright, so this is my new joint. This is what was honed out. This is a new piece of 2-inch PVC pipe that has been glued in. So I primed the inside of this, cleaned it up pretty good, then primed it, let it dry real good, and then put plenty of glue on both the PVC pipe and inside this new collar. And we're now going to glue this piece that'll go here. So this goes over that. A critically important step is to ensure that this is on here. Okay, I think I'm going to just do it this way. I think I'm just going to do it this way. Just noted I don't have an O-ring in there, so I need to do that before I get too far down the road. I do know where that O-ring is. Okay, so painted, gonna put some glue on it. Okay, so the fitting that this is screwing onto here was not previously mounted, so that has Teflon on it and it was screwed in nice and tight. We'll snug this up a little bit, put some of this glue in here. Nice, fairly generous helping of glue there, and a little bit here as well. The pump is not yet bolted to the concrete that it's sitting on, so I'm able to move the pump around, which is what I'm going to do here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to push this on and give it a twist at the same time. Okay, I don't want to put a bind on that, so we'll go ahead and take that off. That step was just to make sure I didn't forget that collar. That would have been disastrous. Okay, I have drilled 2 holes in the concrete here, 1, 2, and I'm dropping in these wedge anchors to bolt the pump down. So once they're in there, then you have to whack them in to should drop all the way down. Should be operative. There we go. Alright, and then you tighten them back up and it wedges them in nice and tight. That's the theory. Alright, so now we pick it up. Excuse me. Okay, the pump is mounted, bolted, and it's plumbed into the incoming side over here, so it's traveling that direction. And so the next thing we're going to do is plumb the chlorine generator into here. And the first step for that is to put in a flow switch, which will go here. So I'm going to do that. When I cut this, I cut it right at the joint, so right here. And that meant that I've got that glue that you see here was here. You can see it's still kind of nasty here, but I did have to clean it up all the way around so that this would actually go onto the joint, which it does now. So okay, so I'm going to dress it and put some glue on it and push that on there. So to now make a PVC glue that is clear, that does not require priming. I'm going to wait until somebody else uses that and tells me about it. Glue works really good on a nicely primed surface, and so I'm still kind of a primer. I'm a believer in a primer. So we'll go ahead and do the other side too, because it's off and it'll be easier to do now than later. I can tell it's definitely working because it's cleaning off whatever film is there. It takes a couple of swipes to get it to stick. So I'm just very skeptical of a one-step PVC glue. Oh, whoops, didn't stick. I can't afford that. Okay, and this is as stated before, it is a flow sensor, and you can see that it is directional, and that arrow is pointing the direction that it's coming out of the filter going back into the pool. Okay, so it's been a couple of minutes. The primer is dry. You might notice that I use a little bitty can of glue and primer. I used to buy the big ones and thinking I'd use it again later. Of course, when you come back later, it's all dried up. It doesn't matter how tight you get it, it's going to be dried up. So have since then. This is not a little job, but I use a little jar. It works just fine. Okay, that's on there. Making sure that I put it on this end. And I'll put it on and give it a twist. So that's on top. Not that it has to be, but I want it to be. So that's on. Okay, so we know that I've already dressed that on the inside. This is dressed. So give it a couple of minutes here, a few more seconds actually. And we'll go ahead and glue this in. Directions here say that 13 3/4 inch between the two rough cuts, and so that's what I'm going to do now is measure 13 3/4 of an inch apart. 13 3/4. Right about there. I'm going to hold this up and see how how that really looks here. So we're going to be there and there. All right, we're going to do it. We're going to do what it says. Yoo-hoo! Man, I think I'll definitely go back on that with some. Vaseline petroleum jelly. You were a booger bear. Yeah, I'm cutting towards my thumb, I know. I'll be okay. All right, well, the O-ring that was in here was quite nasty, and the good thing that I had a new O-ring for it here, and I'm going to put some of this Pool and Spa lube on it as well as on the thread, so maybe I won't have to fight so hard to get it off the next time. Okay, so now it's time to put these fittings on. One, and two, just like that. And again, you can see how it kind of sticks and kind of doesn't, so I make sure I put it on until it's definitely in there good, not sticking. Yeah, I just don't know about that one-step glue. Maybe people tell me I use too much primer. Okay. Gracious sakes. Okay, I'm happy. One down. Making sure I grab the right one. They have a lot of adapters. Okay, I'm happy. We're gonna let that sit and dry a little bit. Alrighty then. There's one. Get out of there, screw it up. Yeah, pretty easy to move. I'm thinking I moved it. One of the other things I noticed in the instructions, good to note, that is down here at the bottom, it says when using a variable speed or multi-speed pump on a low speed setting, the cell must be inverted. So they show it with it dropping down there, where up here it's up and here it's inverted. So that's the installation we'll be doing, because this is a multi or variable speed pump. And I've already put the O-rings, I mentioned them before, so the O-rings are already in the pump on both ends. The O-rings are already mounted in this. We're going to put this in like this. Gotcha. Hand tighten on them. Okay, we're inverted. It's on there. And we can snug. See how much I move it when I snug this thing up. I'll lean on it, try to keep it from moving. Yeah. Okay, hand tight. Alrighty then. Alright, well, I kind of just got to work and forgot to do filming, but it's kind of nice to see. If you look here, you can see chlorine being generated, so that's a good thing. Looks like steam in the water. And we have power, we're generating, there's no errors. Every now and then I'll get a high salt will flash because it's been 80 to 92, it's jumping around. I have, because it was high, now, okay, now we're getting everything. So we got a solution for that, we'll just turn it off. And no more cloud in the water, it's not creating chlorine anymore. I've got the water hose in there, and maybe every now and then it gets a whiff of the clear water, the water hose water. So we'll power back up. 90% power. And yeah, the salinity's jumping all over the place right now. I need to get that water hose out of there. Anyway, the pump is working fine, nothing's leaking. I've got it on quick clean right now, and at 3450, 3,450 RPM. And I'm looking forward to getting back in my pool soon.